Welcome back, welcome back. We're rolling again, just waiting for Tommy. He's got a bit of a drag at the moment. Here he comes. Better get in and stop talking rubbish. Yeah, we've got a bit to go on this paddock. Half a dozen runs here and then we'll get finished. Hang on, everything's so dusty again.
Sorry I'm a bit late, John. I just had to unload that, unwind the roof on that bin.
Nah, you're right, mate. I'll just unload, pulled up, that's all.
More than fine.
Yeah, we just got this depression up.
How's it going there, John?
Oh, hang on. Everyone wants to talk to me at once. Good, Bernie. How are you getting on?
Hey, man. Looks like the moisture must have been pretty right with the dust that was coming out of it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It'll be... it's down on the header from what it was the other day when we were going.
That's good.
Hopefully we've had our breakdowns and we're clean run now.
Well, it's probably a blessing in disguise too, because it'll give it a chance to dry out a bit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Any tricks to starting this little tractor here or not?
Just need a little short gear stick in neutral and just push the you'll see the orange knob there. Just make sure it's pushed in and turn the key and it should go, and just make sure when you pull the stopper out, just put the key back so it's straight up and down. Just turn the key off when you turn it off.
Mate, thank you.
PDO's down there on your left hand side.
Okay.
So yeah, so anyway, we got the gearbox back in this morning finally. It seems to be going alright. Yeah, so weather's warmed up. It's pretty good harvesting weather. We've got a bit of a cross breeze here. It's sort of blowing up our backside a little bit, which is yeah, which is making visibility a bit tricky, but anyway, we'll keep soldering on and get a bit done. That I drive, just let us know. I'd like to apologise to it. Didn't know I'd run over it, but clearly I have. So the story unfolds. Just actually taking the machine back to the workshop. Plus side gearbox seems to be running really well. So what has actually happened? And I still can't believe it myself. I'm trying my hardest not to swear here. The PDO shaft has come off the pickup front. There's a short PDO shaft down here that runs between the feeder house and the pickup front that drives the big table auger here. It's actually come off the pickup front end, gone up and gone into the front of the machine, and then proceeded to make its way through the machine. I had my dad in with me at the time. We were just chatting and I just lifted up at the end to turn around, and I just it happened that quick. I just caught it. I shut the front off, but yeah, didn't shut the machine off in time. So it's gone through the machine, busted off, I don't know, 2 or 3 vanes in the new cone, busted off 3 or 4 bolts in one of the elephant ears in the front of the rotor. Thankfully hasn't busted any rotor bars off, but there's one there that isn't straight. I'm sure it's not straight, but we've spun the rotor. It seems to spin alright, and it still seems to be balanced. It's destroyed a couple of concaves, and out the back, I think it's taken a bolt off one of the chopper blades on its way out. But the drama we've got is it's actually bent the frame that the concaves sit in. When I get back to the workshop, I'll show you. So we tried to get that frame out in the paddock, and it doesn't come out without having the rotor out. So we're walking to head back to the workshop. I was going to take the gas out there and heat it, but we'll do it back in the shop, and we've got a few more tools and that sort of stuff there. Concaves. I should have some concaves to get us going, but it's a bit of disbelief at the moment that this is going on. I'm going to have to start paying my washer lady more, because this is the 3rd day in a row I'm just absolutely filthy. Anyway, so young Tommy's here, still here with me. He's probably can't see him, he's a bit far away, escorting me. Brendan had a good day with the baler doing silage. We've got a bit more hay to cut. But anyway, we'll get this rig back into the shed, and look, I'm just a bit inclined to leave it till tomorrow morning. I've had about it enough today. We just got to get a PDO shaft from somewhere, whether we can go to town. The guys at Cobram Farm have got an assortment of clutches and that sort of stuff. We just need a clutch for that end. Preferably something I can bolt on. If not, we might have to rob something, have a rummage around here and see if we can rob something off another machine. But anyway, it's a pain in the backside, it really is. Anyway, the weather doesn't look like it's going to rain, but we were sort of looking to finish our own tomorrow and get into this. We've just got to go here next door to. So anyway, we'll get it home, and might worry about it in the morning. Morning again. So just come down. We've got fencing contractor coming. We're going to start, and he's going to split this paddock up. Here in the Lucerne actually needs cutting, which is on the to-do list. Just come down. I've just got this tyre that's flat. I'm hoping with our little Milwaukee airless compressor we can pump him up. So pretty cool little gizmo, these things. So they do work pretty well. So we'll get a bit of air in this tyre, and actually just want to walk it round the other way for him, so he can so they can get a line because they're going to have to put a gate, a strainer essentially at each wheel. So we'll get it round there, and then we'll attack this header. mechanical stuff at the moment. It's driving me mad. Just have a look at the loosen just there. Use the U, this comparison. It's quite good through here. The lambs out the back there. They're not keeping up, so we're going to cut it and just yeah, try and yeah, just reset it essentially. Cut it and bale the hay. What we want to do is just put a fence through here. Just to manage it better. We could essentially lock the lambs in one side and cut the other half for hay, or vice versa. This bloody Murphy switch, there's a fuse in behind there and the button, and it's a bit sticky. It's a sealed thing and you can't actually, best way to fix it was to hit it with a screwdriver. Not ideal. Anyway, so we got this thing on. Need to remember how to drive it. We want to go forwards. We slow the application rate right down. Slow the application rate. Oh, excuse me. The quicker it'll walk. So we press run. We'll light up the top there. Oh, hang on a minute. We'll turn the hydraulics on. Will be helpful. Get the motor load up. Let the run and close that. Having a battle, I thought. Come on. Alright. System to run. See it light up, the light flashes. And it should be starting to walk. So we'll go back down and finish pumping that tyre up. And yeah, we should be right. Look here, you can see how quick it's walking. So it's walked away from the air compressor. So anyway, that tyre is probably alright to do what we need to do today, but it's obviously got a slow leak in it. We'll have to whip him off at some stage. But yeah, we'll let that walk around, and yeah, fencing contractor will be here in, I don't know, half an hour or so, so we'll get him set up. Righto, back at the workshop. So I'll just give you a rundown of what's going on here. So there should be a shaft between there and there. As I said earlier, power comes from the header onto the front, drives the front, yada yada yada. What's happened is, not too sure whether this is worn a bit and it hasn't locked in. It's got little notches there where the end of the PDO shaft's supposed to lock in. Not sure whether it's what's happened, but anyway, it's come over. Ended up in there, believe it or not, through the machine. So damage report. You can see, oh, you probably can't, it's a bit hard to tell. Probably can't see with the camera, but there's those angle-iron vanes. If you watched some of the earlier videos, you would have seen me talk about them. Just helps with the material through the machine. So it's knocked a couple of them off. On the front of the rotor, there's the big, what we call, or what I call the elephant ears, impeller ears, whatever you want to call them. We've lost a couple of those bolts. We've got some of the old ones, they still look alright, so we'll bang them back in. These fancy bolts, they bolt these, the vanes I'm talking about, in. The other bits are out the back, the other farm and the other ute. It's actually punched a hole. This is punched a hole in there. I'll give that a bit of a panel beat. Bang a bit of weld on him. That's the cover off the front here. Off the front. Goes up in there where we were just looking. And then the tricky bit is this frame here that carries the concaves. Now this bugger here is bent badly. What I was going to do is put a bit of heat on it and try and get it straight. Now that I've sort of had a bit of time to think about it, and it's bent badly, but anyway, I can't do much about it. I'm actually going to cut it out, and whether I take it out and flog it with a hammer and then weld it back in might be the best course of action, rather than trying to, you know, straighten it up in there, and we just can't get at it to give it a hit or anything like that. So I think think the best thing will be is just cut it out, and which is only a 5-minute job, and it might save a fair bit of pain. But thankfully, this one here, this block here, looks a bit, I don't know, a bit suspect, as it's copped it on the way around. But all the others look alright. And the only other thing is it's taken a bolt off one of the chopper blades at the back, but you can see here, look, that should be straight. I've got a couple of concaves, the other concaves are out the back in the other ute still, but you can see here he's one of those, well, the smaller ones that's out the other farm. It's sort of punched a big hole in it, so it's sort of stuffed it. I've got a mate that's going to loan me a couple of small ones to get us going again, and look, we'll probably just have to buy a couple of new ones. Yeah, it's probably not worth going down the insurance path. So anyway, we'll chuck a pair of overalls on, because it'll be terrible to be filthy dirty at this hour of the morning, and try and get him operational again. Oh, PDO shaft, that was one of the big dramas. Not one in, I rang our Case dealership and there wasn't one in the country. Well, they didn't have any stock, but we've got an old post hole digger over there that's got the same sort of clutch on it as what had it on it. So I'm just going to pilfer that shaft, and we'll cut him down to size, and I've just sprayed a bit of lubricant on it so I can get it off, and hopefully it's pretty cold this morning, I've got a jumper on, so hopefully a couple of hours we can get him up and going again, and fingers crossed nothing else goes wrong. But we shouldn't speak too soon. I think I got a bit ahead of myself before. Anyway, fun and games. Hello. So this is the bit of plate out of the centre of the H-frame that supports the concaves. She's seen better days. Anyway, we'll take to it with a hammer and try and get him back in. Yeah, anyway, keep soldering. Well, hopefully we're mobile again. Tommy's just running around banging the guards on. I'll just show you. That's the PDO shaft. Didn't do it much good. Punch that one out. We'll sort of wreck that one. So we've got a couple of new large wires in it which we had there, and I've got a loan of a couple of small wires until some new ones turn up. That's one of the veins, we'll put a new one of them in. Yeah, not a super costly, well, costly enough because a couple of concaves aren't cheap. So anyway, hopefully we're going again. The wheels are turning again. Yeah, we're back going, which is good. Everything seems to be operating the way it should. Yeah, so it's interesting today. It's quite cool today. It's only sort of 20 degrees, 21 or 2 degrees, so there's a few rumblings coming out of the rotor at times. So the straw is a little bit tough, and yeah, you sort of, when you have a bit of a catastrophe like we've had, you're a bit nervy, hoping that everything, it hasn't done any damage to something that you haven't picked up, and everything else is operating the way it should be. So, but no, we seem to have had a win. Hopefully, fingers crossed. That's the last catastrophe. Well, yeah, it wasn't a catastrophe. It was just bad luck, I suppose. But yeah, you don't need those sorts of things happening at harvest time. The job could be hectic enough without yeah, PDO shafts deciding that they've had enough. So anyway, you can't really see in there that window needs a clean, but picking up rows still. We're rocking along about 2.6 or 7. We're getting up over 3 tonne in this paddock. It's quite good on the red rise here. It's quite distinct soil change in this paddock. You sort of go from sand. That last paddock we did was quite sandy, and then you run into sort of some red stony ground, and then down the bottom here where it's been drowned out. The ground's quite heavy. So yeah, you've got 2 or 3 or 4 different soil types in the one paddock. But yeah, but anyway, so we're going all right. Yeah, good this morning. Yeah, we just poked along. I'm glad we sort of didn't have a crack at it last night. We just left it alone, and yeah, I'm about buggered today, to be honest with you. Yeah, so but it was good this morning. I shot up and got the parts and got back, and my dad, he'd come out, which is a rarity for him. Usually comes out and has a ride in the header and sees what's going on. But yeah, he came back and he was giving young Tom a hand with we pilfered the PDO shaft off the old post hole digger, which seems to be rocking along alright, but it was sort of seized up, and yeah, he was giving young Tom a hand with that, which was good. I think he realised that, yeah, the stress levels were pretty high, so no, it was good for him to come out. Very much appreciated of him to come out and just poke around and pass spanners and pass hammers and that sort of stuff. So yeah, as I said earlier on, Dad and I work together really well, and we're sort of yeah, don't mind. You can give each other a bit of stick and that sort of stuff. So, and he probably, yeah, he keeps me in check a little bit too. It's sort of mellowed a bit. Not that I was a hothead, but yeah, stuff goes wrong. Yeah, I have thrown a spanner or two in my younger days. So, but that comes from Mum. That's Mum's side. We'll blame Mum. Mum's not here. Yeah. Anyway, so. But yeah, no, it's sort of, yeah, it's good just to, he's a good sounding board, my father, so, but yeah, if that's all he does every now and then, just comes out and gives a bit of moral support, it's, yeah, he doesn't need to do much more than that, so, but anyway, and yeah, young Tommy's always got a smile on his face, and he's always got a bit of cheek to give, so, yeah, no, it's good to have good people around you, so. Anywho, yeah, thanks. Well, we've had a bit of a spike in subscribers the last couple of days. I was just doing a quick bit of editing last night while I was half asleep, just on the next one, and yeah, we've jumped. We're up over 500 now, which is good. So yeah, thanks to you guys that have hopped on board, and thanks to you guys that are sort of commenting. And apologies if I'm a bit slow getting back to replying to you. It's yeah, just sort of doing it off the laptop, so it's a bit tricky this time of year when we're so busy. It's either got to be early in the morning or last thing at night. So, but anyway, keep following along. I hope you're enjoying it. Look, yeah, it's putting a PDO shaft through a harvester is a tough way to create content. But look, I'm not going to go to that length for you in the future, I promise. Anyway, no, all jokes aside. So, keep watching, keep subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one.